Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for being here with me this afternoon. We've got some important and exciting information to bring to you. First off, I want to start by thanking the legislature for their work during the 32nd special session, which wrapped up early this morning. It wasn't last night, it was early this morning. I know that the last two special sessions have not been easy. They've been difficult on everyone, and I'm confident that the work that was completed will help Nevadans during this difficult time that we are living in. But today I called you here to talk about an important issue that you are all very familiar with, our unemployment compensation program. I am joined by a few folks today whom I'm excited to introduce shortly, and I am grateful that they are here with me on this day. Today I am announcing immediate action that is already underway to find solutions and reduce the backlog for those eligible Nevadans who have still not received their benefits under the state's unemployment compensation system. I want you to know I hear you. I am listening and I am taking action. One individual, one family going without benefits that they deserve, that they need to pay their bills, put food on their table, or pay their rent is too many. I've said it before and I will say it again. The state employees at the Department of Employment, Training, and Rehabilitation have done an incredible job under these unprecedented circumstances, working around the clock to connect eligible Nevadans to their benefits. And not just under regular UI, but also under the federal program, benefits newly created, implemented during this COVID-19 pandemic, called Pandemic Unemployment Assistance, or PUA as it's more commonly known. Nevada has the highest unemployment rate in the nation, and yet we are paying nearly 90% of the eligible traditional unemployment claims each week, 90%. The state has also paid more than 120,000 pandemic unemployment assistance claims. But while there have been some accomplishments and some progress that has been made, due to the historic, unprecedented, and overwhelming nature of our current situation, we know there is still so much more that needs to be done. And I know there are many more claimants waiting for resolutions to their claims and their cases. As of July 30th, Dieter has paid out nearly $6.1 billion across all UI and CARES Act programs since the start of the pandemic, far above the total benefits paid out across all UI and federal extended benefits in 2009, 2010, and 2011 combined. They have done all they can with the resources available, and as a state, we have worked hard to provide additional resources where appropriate. That includes waiving work search requirements, allowing flexibility to hire more than 100 additional staff to help answer calls and process claims, and importantly, putting forth legislation in this special session, which will help provide more flexibility to Dieter, to help connect claimants to benefits faster. It will extend the number of weeks Nevadans are eligible for additional benefits through this crisis using only federal funds. I am proud that this piece of legislation presented by members of my staff and Dieter received near unanimous support in both houses of the legislature. Today I am signing this bill into law so we can immediately move forward with these changes. And I will sign the bill right now. Thank you. This piece of legislation is not a silver bullet or the final word, but there is no doubt it will help Nevadans for both the short and long-term going forward. However, with all of this work and all of those who have received their benefits, we know that the current situation is simply not acceptable for those who are eligible for benefits and have been waiting for months for resolution, whether through the traditional unemployment insurance system or the pandemic unemployment assistance program. We know that the state is dealing with an antiquated computer system, a historic, unprecedented demand, and fraudulent actors from inside and outside Nevada filing false claims in the name of others. In addition, the federal government designed a brand new program, Pandemic Unemployment Assistance, PUA, that is highly susceptible to fraud, and then left it up to the individual states to quickly build and implement new systems to administer this program. These are huge challenges. But those reasons don't matter much to the hardworking Nevadans who earn these benefits and are entitled to these benefits. We must do more to get Dieter and the resources, the tools they need to get these benefits delivered. That's why, effective immediately, I am appointing Barbara Buckley, a woman in the mask who you might not recognize because of the mask, but I hope you know her, to lead a rapid response effort, a strike force on unemployment insurance. As many of you know, Barbara served with great distinction in the Nevada legislature, serving as majority leader of the Assembly from 2001 to 2007, and as the state's Speaker of the Nevada Assembly from 2007 to 2010. Her reputation precedes her, and for good reason. Throughout her career, whether in the state legislature or as a head of legal aid of Southern Nevada, Barbara has been a champion of hardworking Nevadans, especially those struggling with income or other financial or health care challenges, and who need the extra assistance to help them move forward with dignity so that they can support themselves and their families. I can think of no one better, no one more motivated, no one more experienced, or no one more action-oriented to dive in and to help us move our UI program forward to help better serve our state and our citizens. As a leader of this rapid response effort, Barbara will work closely with new acting director for Dieter, who I'm appointing today over the next 60 to 90-day period. Her efforts will be focused on immediate action during this short period of time. At my request, she has already started and is consulting with private and public sector experts on improving business processes within Dieter and potential information technology and policy solutions to reduce the backlog. All options will be considered to bring more IT, more personnel, and more policy resources to reduce this backlog in the short term, and consider how our program needs to evolve for the long term to ensure that we can ensure that Nevadans, in the best way possible, are served during this pandemic and beyond. She will be supported with the resources she needs with Federal CARES Act funding to ensure she can tackle these challenges right away. As part of our immediate efforts to bring more resources and direction to Dieter, I am proud to announce Ms. Elisa Cafferata as the new acting director of the Department of Employment Training and Rehabilitation. Elisa currently serves as the Deputy Administrator of Field Operations Support for the State of Nevada Welfare Division. Lisa has a Master's of Business Administration from the University of Nevada, Reno, and was founding director of the Nevada Technology Association. I am pleased to have her with me here again today, and to have her stepping into this big role and to work by Barbara's side. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to Barbara to talk more about her role. Speaker Buckley, thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm honored to be asked to lead this rapid response task force. We all know the situation. Our state has the highest number of unemployment claims with a growing backlog, and we just can't keep up. We need the backlog reduced. People are barely hanging on, and they've been waiting too long. The goal is to remove barriers to payment for those who are eligible. The goal is to find solutions. enhanced IT solutions, use of volunteers, hiring of additional personnel, temporary transfer of state employees. Whatever solutions make sense, they will be on the table. I'm going to be relying on a diverse team to help. Already, I've enlisted public and private sector leaders to give their thoughts and expertise to dig in and help tackle these problems. I would like to thank Anthony Pearl, General Counsel and Chief Compliance Officer for the Cosmopolitan, for being one of those volunteers. Mike Schmidt, CEO of Clairvoyix, a local tech company, and Mike was former head of the Software US division of Siemens, for volunteering their time, like I am, to assist fellow Nevadans in need. I would also like to thank Richard Whitley, Steve Fisher, and the incredible team with the state's Department of Health and Human Services, who, despite their own workload, have volunteered to pitch in. As they said it, this is the crisis. We're ready to support the Dieter team. Already, we've brainstormed solutions. For example, one group of claimants are being held up because of an identity verification issue. We discussed a data verification plan and hoped to have these claimants approved in the next week. We also discussed temporary transfer of welfare eligibility workers and offering overtime to welfare eligibility workers to join the Dieter employees who have already been working day and night. All solutions are on the table, and the governor has made it clear that this is urgent and that all resources of state government will be engaged to help. There are thousands of Nevadans entitled to benefits who are desperate to receive them, and I am honored to lead this initiative and to offer our help. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker. I appreciate it, you and Lisa both, for your help. You have my full support as we bring all state resources to bear to do everything possible to reduce this backlog and respond to the calls for help from those hardworking Nevadans that have not yet been answered. Finally, I know that Attorney General Aaron Ford couldn't be here with us today, but I want to recognize his leadership and immediate response to the call center to be part of this rapid response effort with regard to the unprecedented level of fraud that is detrimentally impacting the UI program, not just in Nevada, but nationwide. Nevada cannot ignore the U.S. Department of Labor mandate to ensure program integrity and work to prevent and detect fraud all across all UI programs, including the newly federally funded Pandemic Unemployment Assistance PUA program, which was reportedly the focus of much of the fraudulent activity. But we know that this systemic fraud is causing legitimate claims to be delayed and putting an incredible strain on limited resources. Multiple agencies are involved in this response, including Dieter, the Attorney General's Office, the U.S. Attorney's Office, the FBI, Secret Service, and more. As our state's lead law enforcement agency, the Attorney General's Office is already working to coordinate these efforts. We have no tolerance for bad actors who are attempting to take advantage of either the traditional unemployment insurance system or federally funded PUA system. Earlier this week, Nick Trutanich from the U.S. Attorney's Office announced a Las Vegas man was arrested on charges related to identity theft and possession of fraudulent unemployment cards. This announcement was in conjunction with Sheriff Joe Lombardo from the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department and the U.S. Secret Service. We will continue this targeted approach against scammers and other organized groups who try to game the system against hardworking Nevadans. Together, we're taking every action possible to review flagged files for patterns, cut off fraudulent claims, and root out bad actors. If you believe you have been the victim of a fraudulent claim, please fill out a form online at Dieter's website and the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center, which is www.ic3.gov. That's www.ic3.gov. I'm grateful for all the Nevadans who have come forward with offers to help, including our congressional delegation, those named in these new efforts, and others, especially today with me, Barbara and Lisa. Together we will address this problem, and together we will get results. Thank you very much for joining us. We're going to take a few.
If you all come to the microphones that appear to ask a question, so viewers at home can hear the question.
Thank you, Governor. I want to check about fraud because I've done stories of people who have been notified they've applied for unemployment benefits and they have not. Can you give us at all, from your understanding, a thumbnail sketch of what you know, how they're getting this, who these people are? You said some are within the state, some are without the state. How much money? And what are the chances of you absolutely being able to prosecute these people?
Well, and I'm going to ask Barbara to step up and answer this, or Lisa. There are ongoing investigations, and some of them are sensitive in nature in terms of the tools they use. We are going to prosecute to the fullest extent of the law as we uncover bad actors. That's a guarantee. But I don't know if there's some questions as it relates to.
I spoke to both Attorney General Ford and Nick Trutanich in the last few days, and we are going to meet with our ESD and Dieter staff. There's been a task force formed already, but we are going to up our game. There certainly are, anyone in the state knows somebody who has received a letter and saying that they filed for unemployment when they haven't. I don't know that it's been drilled down how the folks got these personal information. I have my own personal theories, but no proof. But one of the things we're going to do is make sure our protocols are really clear and understood. So for example, if someone files a claim with the FBI, we want that flagged in the Dieter database that day. So there's going to have to be a daily exchange of information, right, to make sure that we're working in sync. So we'll be meeting probably next week to review those protocols and to do all that we can to, first of all, deter any more false filings, to let those who are behind this know that we're on to them, that we're enhancing our verification efforts, and they shouldn't continue. Honestly, once you've paid it out, a couple states have been successful getting the money back, but that's usually so rare that the best course of action is not to let it go out the door in the first place.
Any estimate on how much money?
At this point, no, but that's one of the things that we're going to work on with the AG and U.S. Attorney to actually make that available, to calculate that and disclose it. I think right at this time, with everything that's on the plate, I think it's hard to know.
Okay, thank you.
How important was the section of this bill that you just signed into law that will pay these claimants retroactively?
Well, it's extremely important, and I'm proud of the legislation that we're able to introduce and get through the legislature nearly unanimously. It's going to extend the opportunity for benefits for folks that are desperate. We're facing an unprecedented situation, as was previously mentioned. Our unemployment's at an all-time high. I need to do everything I can to keep people working, to preserve these jobs, and for those who are not working, to extend their benefits and their lifeline as long as humanly possible. So I'm confident this is going to be a big help for folks.
Thank you. We'll go to the next question, Bill.
Hi, I have a question for both the Speaker, Buckley, and also for Ms. Caparata, if I could. Speaker Buckley, so do you have, at this point, kind of a firm timeline of benchmarks you want to hit going forward, and how are you going to report that out to the press and to the public?
So what we're going to do is prepare a dashboard. We're going to post it online. We're going to quantify the backlog in an even simpler manner than has been done already, and then report back on how much we were able to reduce it. So the goal is to be very transparent, and We're also have a couple priorities. First is bang for the buck. If there's 30,000 people hung up on a verification glitch, can we move that today? And then another priority is the people that filed first, who have still been waiting. You know, their stories break our heart. So that's another priority category for us.
So there'll be kind of like daily updates, or?
I don't know.
as they-
I don't know yet. I don't know
Okay.
whether it will be daily or weekly, whatever's, I think, efficient. Probably in the beginning it'll be weekly, but maybe once we get the rhythm down and get the system in place. But one of the things we're trying to do is the sole number one focus is getting benefits out the door. So even if something is a useful project, process enhancement, if it's going to come at the expense of getting money in people's pockets, we're going to save that to phase 2.
Okay. Just wanted to ask for maybe a general comment from you about taking on this job, and also with your immediate predecessor. Her tenure was pretty short, and she said it was involved some concerns about safety. So how do you, coming into this tough position, what's your view going forward?
Right, thank you for the question. First of all, I'm deeply honored to be asked. I think that, and like Barbara, what made it something that I felt I could do and bring assets to the team was the commitment of the governor and Barbara Buckley. And really, I think what this shows you is the commitment to involve all the branches of government in the state to the extent possible. So I'm excited and honored, and I do have some trepidation, and you probably need to send me to get me checked out if I didn't have some trepidation about it, but there is a commitment here to continue the very good work that's been done by the folks at DETR and bring them all the resources that they need. In terms of safety, I think that, as Barbara Buckley said, you know, our commitment is to start getting through these cases, getting folks the resolution that they need, paying them if they are eligible, and getting them other resources if they're not eligible, because there are certainly folks that won't necessarily fall into the categories that are eligible for unemployment benefits. So we have the commitment of the state to do something for those folks as well. So as long as we are addressing people's concerns, I feel that they will give us the benefit of the doubt and let us get on with our work.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Bill. And Michelle will take the last question.
I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge a few people. First off, my chief of staff, who's not here with us today, who's worked tirelessly on this, Michelle White, but also Allison Combs, who you see backing up in the back of the room there, and Jessica Diss and Francisco Morales, for the record, who have worked tirelessly to help us move this forward, this legislation, and we sincerely appreciate them on behalf of the entire state. Thank you all very much. Go ahead, Michelle.
So there's an ongoing court case happening. There's a judge involved, a court-appointed special master. How does that dovetail with the work of this strike force and the report that was already done about DETR? Are these complementary?
I don't want to get into pending litigation because we're obviously working through that in the court system. I can tell you that we work tirelessly to get the bill passed. I'm confident with this new strike force that we have online, it's going to resolve a lot of the complaints, and hopefully in a much quicker manner than was done in the past. I have total confidence in both Barbara and Lisa that they're going to move this forward. And I think we'll just have to wait and see. But the litigation is going to work its way through, and I can't comment on pending litigation.